Today's story will lift your soul, so please watch it till the end, friends. Today's heartbreaking tale revolves around a woman who kept all the secrets of her life from her husband, because of which she had to die in her youth. But what were her unloved secrets? Let us know in the video that her husband said that my wife. When I came to bury my wife, the black cat was following my wife around the grave. I thought that the cat must be there. When I went a little closer to my wife's grave, those and wanted to remove the soil when they saw me. I told Malvi Sahib about this. Let's hear the story from the beginning. Whether you are Hindu or Muslim, don't download the video. Let's say a little prayer. Oh Allah, save us from sins. Everyone write in comments, and like this video, and those who have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. This video's target is 10,000, so everyone please like this video. Let's start with, my wife was sleeping on her head during marriage. I was very happy that I got a good wife. I was happy because till date I have not done anything illegal with a woman. So I also got a good wife after marriage. Before going to my room, one of my cousins, whose parents passed away in childhood and who was staying with us, blocked my way and said, "Brother, I know you are very happy you have a good wife. But as you have a past, she must have a past because you say that a husband will get a wife as he likes. It is true, but I did not bother about that because I repented to Allah in this matter. If she commits any sin like me, but she must have repented." After listening to me, my cousin laughed and said, "How do you know if she repented or not? Brother, you go now. You are very happy, so only your wife will be in your head. The real truth is only I know." I said, okay, so I don't want to listen to your nonsense at all. I went ahead saying my cousin's words. I was getting very angry with him, but when I saw the situation with my wife, all the anger in my heart was gone because a wife like that waits only for her husband who has love for her husband. But I didn't know that my life was going to be strange. When I sat near my wife, she soothed my heart. He talked a lot. "I will spend my whole life with you faithfully. I will not impose any order on you." My wife was very nice. I saw her face and gave her a gift, and she was very happy with it. I spent the night talking about love with my wife. Next morning, someone knocked on the door, but I opened the door and saw that there was no one there. I wondered how a door could make noise on its own. It is a human thing. He got up as if he was very worried about this matter, and he said, "Maybe someone has knocked on the door, maybe someone has made fun of you." My head was not working. Who could do this? My wife came out and started praying. I was very happy with my wife's tawakkul at that time. My mum came and said, "Dad, there is a problem which only you can solve." I kept thinking, what is the problem? Again, Mum said, "Someone has stolen all the rations from the house. There is nothing to eat. Your wife is not doing well, who is like all of us." I was surprised to hear that the ration was stolen. I said, "Who steals the ration these days, Amma?" Amma said, "Don't talk to me too much. I know all this is because of your wife." I went there, bought all the rations, and was returning home. When I came home, I heard a scream. I thought it was a woman's scream. It was my wife's scream. I quickly went ahead and rang the doorbell, but no one was opening the door. I was apprehensive. At one point, I started kicking the door, but no one was opening the door. Then I called my mother. I called my cousin, but no one picked up their phone. Suddenly, my mother opened the door. I asked her why mother was not opening the door, and how long have I been standing outside? Don't you know that you sent me to fetch a lot of rations, and the sound of shouting was coming from inside? Or why did you say anything to my wife, Sazia? Mother said, "No, father. What shall we say to your wife again?" I was in the washroom. He said it was late. He went inside, but he was not able to meet my eyes. It seemed he was hiding something from me. I came to my room and saw my wife sitting. I told my wife what happened. My wife said nothing happened. I said, "How long I had been ringing the door, you didn't open the door, why?" He started saying, "It's wrong, then I will open the door." I said, "Okay, you say it." There was shouting coming from here. Who was shouting? My wife started saying, "Fear. I don't know anything." I said, "At least tell me who was shouting," and I was fine. "I know this voice is our home. The wife who was coming said that you may think so, but nothing like that happened." I was very surprised to hear from my wife. Anyway, it took a long time to bring my ration, but breakfast was still not there, and it had been an hour since my wife went out, and by now she's back from the kitchen. She didn't come. I felt I should go see her because it's her first day, and Mum said she couldn't help my wife because I was sick. My wife was up on the first day making breakfast, but it was an hour, so I went to the kitchen to see her. I was going. When I got up and opened the door, I saw that the door was locked from the outside. I was very surprised. I closed the door again. I started punching the door, but no one opened the door. I called my cousin and said, "Open the door of my room." He came and opened the door, and he started telling me, "The door was already open, bro. I think you are unusual." That time my cousin also felt annoyed. I went to the kitchen and saw my wife preparing breakfast comfortably. As the door was closed, I vented all my anger on my cousin. He listened to me. He laughed and said, "Bro, I thought you were very intelligent. I thought maybe you would understand everything yourself, but you have to open up everything." I said, "What does this mean? But I have a hot head." Then my cousin, in a soft tone, started saying, "Brother, after some time you will understand your wife's true form." And he left. After some time, my wife was not in my room. I looked for her here and there. Suddenly, I saw that she was coming out of my cousin's room. I was very suspicious seeing her like that. This is what happened, and I felt bad. It's the first day of coming home, and she shouldn't go to my cousin's room. I asked her why she went to my cousin's room. My words scared her. First, she started stealing her eyes. Then she said, "I went there to clean." I said, "So much, what was your need to clean in the morning, and how do you know how many rooms there are in this house?" Then my wife started saying, "Why can't I clean when I can cook breakfast from the first day?" Then I started cleaning myself. I thought my mother's words that you cook your breakfast offended her, so I tried to change the words. But then my wife kept pouting. Even though I tried to talk, she wouldn't talk to me the whole day, even in the evening. My wife's face was not fine. She had tears in her eyes. After dinner, my anger rose. I said to my wife, "What are you angry about?" She said, "Let's take me to my house for the sake of Allah. Don't keep me in this house." I said, "What does she mean? I thought I could stay in this house." "No, maybe you give me another house or keep me in my father's house." I said to her, "Do you see any problem in this house?" My wife said, "No, I have no problem in this house. I just want a new house where I can live comfortably and peacefully." I told her, I said, "You need any happiness you can't find in this house. You pack your stuff. I am dropping you at your father's house." She looked at me surprised, and then she packed her stuff. I put her stuff in the car and dropped her at her parents' house. I came back. I said to her father, "My wife wants to stay at your house for some time." I didn't tell them anything about me and my wife's quarrel. Then I came home. After coming home, my cousin started asking me, "What did you need? Your wife said to leave her at her father's house." The man did that. But if he demands his wife, you cannot control your wife. Tomorrow, when people know that you have left her at her father's house on the second day, what will people say? The dancing monkey said, "You are also strange, bro. I didn't expect this from you." My cousin said this and went to his room. Now, with where he was arguing on the phone, he was very angry. Then I went to my room, but after a while, my brother said something like this. So I suspect we were all having dinner when Mom asked me, "Where is your wife?" Then, before I could say anything, my cousin said something weird. "Auntie, do you remember my friend's wedding, which was 3 years ago?" Mum said, "Yes, but why are you talking about that today?" She said, "The wife also used to go to her father's house again and again, and there it was known that she used to meet her old lover. When the wife goes to her father's house again and again, the husband should understand that there must be some problem, otherwise no girl goes to her father's house without reason, my brother. So it seems that your wife is also having an affair with someone in her father's house. Otherwise, she would not have gone to her father's house on the pretext of a small matter. There must be something. You are madly in love with her, but we are not blind. We can see everything." I got bored listening to my cousin, so I said, "I am going to fetch my wife now. If you say another word, it won't be good." My cousin started laughing. I was surprised to hear that. "Your wife came back some time ago and you don't know about it. If she came, then she didn't see me." "Why? I was at home, but in my mother's room. Maybe she went to our room." I quickly went to my room. I saw the scene. It was like crying. I saw my wife lying down. She had a piece of paper and her body had turned blue. I went to her and moved her. I saw her spirit leave this world and my wife died. I got a big blow, and when I read the paper next to it, the ground fell from under my feet. What she wrote was enough to make anyone unconscious. The letter read, I apologized to my husband. I'm leaving this world because I feel ashamed of myself. My character is like that. Not that I can meet my husband's eyes. He loves me. But before marriage, I have had many relationships with many men. I don't feel worthy of my husband. Today, I'm going to end my life because of this. I feel like the ground is shaking from under my feet after reading this. Tears came to my eyes as I couldn't accept this cheating of my wife, and on top of that, I couldn't accept her death. The news spread like fire in the whole village. They all came together and came home. When the wife's parents came to know about this letter, they were surprised. They said, "Everything seemed to be a lie. My daughter was very mature. We will investigate this matter because it cannot be." My daughter was very good in life. She never looked at any boy. This letter could not be from my daughter. I did not listen to my wife's family. I did not manage my grief. I left it to God and took the body to the cemetery for burial. My wife's father was very angry with me. He didn't even want to talk to me, as if he suspected me of the death of his daughter. He thought I was the cause of my wife's death. Although I found this letter next to his dead body, they didn't believe me, so I kept quiet. I didn't want to take the burden of grief on myself in any way, so I stopped paying attention to what others said. Removed the curtain, and this was a complete coincidence. When I was burying my wife, 2 cats were walking around her grave. When I left, I went to pray at my wife's grave. Why did all these events seem to me to be false? It seemed that there must be a reason behind her suicide. Then those 2 cats were crying near my wife's grave for a moment. As I was coming, the cats started removing the soil from the grave. They started moving the soil with their feet. I was shocked to see the sight. The 2 cats were moving around the grave. There is a reason I told Imam Sahib about this. He prayed on the grave and then sat there for a while. The cats were still roaming around the grave. Maulvi Sahib said to open the grave. I was present with a friend at that time. We were both scared, but the carver started digging the grave with courage. I saw my wife moving her arms and legs, and her face looked like she was breathing, and I panicked. I rushed my wife to the hospital. Surprisingly, the 2 cats disappeared. I found them. I saw my wife coming out of the cemetery after taking her to the hospital. The doctor said, "Your wife has gone to coma. It may take a week, a month, or a year to come back. She may take many years. Please pray for your wife. She is very stressed." I am sitting next to my wife. I started praying for her because I wanted to know the truth. After 15 days, my wife regained consciousness, and on that day my cousin passed out. Maybe she thought that my wife would tell me all the truth, and it happened. So my wife told me on the first day of marriage. My cousin used to threaten her. She wanted to misbehave with me because she got married, but she was afraid to tell me. My wife and my cousin knew each other before marriage. They studied in the same college. My cousin still harassed her. She knew my wife is a simple girl. She is afraid of men. My cousin took advantage of this and started harassing her after marriage. Then again, when my wife came home, he wanted to beat her, but did not say, "How can anyone harm the one whom Allah protects, Sarah? Even if the world unites, he can't do anything." My wife said that day after going to my father's house in the evening, he remembered me and came back to his house, but finding him alone with the bite, my cousin went there and started being rude to him. My wife slapped him in anger. So he hit my wife with a big stick, so my wife didn't crack her head, but she went to coma and we thought she was dead. He left a false letter next to my wife as if we read it to make my wife feel bad. Yes, but those 2 cats were running through my mind when I told my wife about it. She said they were her pet cats. Till marriage, she used to keep them. Now they are in that house. She took good care of them, so they are very loyal to my wife's family. I heard this, I was amazed, and thought how Allah saved my wife through 2 cats. I immediately prostrated. No doubt Allah is the owner of this world. He can do whatever he wants. My wife is now completely healthy, but my cousin is still at large because it is a case of attempted murder. Past a year later, my cousin was caught, and now he is in jail serving his crime, and I am living a happy life with my wife. She needs to be protected. If someone bothers her, then she can resist him without being afraid, and she can tell everything to her husband or parents. But friends, we don't know how true this story is. So friends, this was our video today. The video is good. If you like it, please like and comment, subscribe, and if you have any opinion about the video, then comment. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.